All right, good afternoon, everybody, or at least the 11 of you, there are 10 of you that are unsigned on right now. So today we have one section to go over, that's section 3.3, and this is on polynomial division. And so I didn't really put anything up on the board as far as like cheat sheet stuff. The fact of the matter is with these problems, it's just practice and repetition. So kind of like system of three equations, the more you practice, the easier they get. Other subjects, similar sort of deal. But I did want to point out one thing because I went back, I got a bunch of emails. People were having trouble formatting the answer on the quizzes and even some of the actual questions itself. And so I went back and looked at the videos, and it looks like I never pointed out what is P of X, what is D of X, etc. So I want to just talk about that real quick. So the first polynomial division example that I worked on the videos was this guy here. And anything that's in blue, I did not have notated in the video. Hello, ladies, welcome, or good morning, I guess, to you technically. So you and Billie Jean, she's here. So the part that's being divided, that's our P of X. What we're dividing by, that's D of X. D for divisor. That's what we're dividing by. What we end up with is our quotient. So that's Q of X. And then whatever we have left over, that's the remainder. So that's R of X. So if in the answer, if it said something like express your answer as P of X equals Q of X times D of X plus R of X. So with this one, your answer would have, so that's another thing. So some of you did understand it, but you weren't putting the answer in the correct format. So you have to be careful with whatever WebAssign is asking, that's the format that you're putting it. And again, part of it could be that you weren't sure what is Q of X, what is R of X, etc. So Q of X, we would have 6x minus 2 times D of X, x minus 4, plus R of X, which is just 4. So if this was a WebAssign answer and it said put your answer in this format, that's what you would have ended up putting in. So does that make sense to everybody? Again, I apologize for that not being in the video. That'll be half to one of the videos I go back and redo, and or maybe in the comments maybe I put comments or something, but that certainly wasn't in the first video, and I can see how that could cause a little bit of trouble. So let me adjust the screen here a little bit. There we go. So any questions on that now? Understanding what's P of X, what's D of X, what's Q of X, what's R of X? No questions? Okay. So let us look at problems you guys had, and the only one that was on the thread was problem number 4. And so if there's other problems you guys want, or if you need other examples, we can do that. Oh, actually, before I go on to that, I changed the settings for the midterm, the quiz on Canvas. So are you guys, has anybody checked that it was supposed to notify you that it had been changed? But has anybody gone back in now since yesterday afternoon and checked the quiz, or do you want to do that now while we're working this other problem? Maybe if you already figured out number 4. Do you guys want to just let me know, can you actually see the quiz and see the correct answers now so that you can use that for review if need be? So if you guys can just confirm that to me or not, I would appreciate that. All right, so number 4. So we have P of X is x to the 5th plus x to the 4th minus 8x to the 3rd plus 7x plus 7. And our d of x is x squared plus x minus 1. So we are not able to do synthetic division here. Whenever we can do synthetic division, that's our best option because it's going to save us so much time. So is there any so synthetic division is important because in 3-4, you guys are going to be finding roots of polynomials. And to do that, you're going to need to use synthetic division. We're still protected. Okay, Wilson, thanks. I will call OIT again and find out because it should have been visible to you guys now. So I'll go back in and find out what's going on there. So thanks for checking. All right, so getting back to synthetic division. If you guys can use, well, not if you can, you should use synthetic division in order to, when you're trying to find roots, oh, you have to press the key and it'll show, okay. All right, so maybe you can see it. What key? Oh, wrong thing. Okay, so maybe the answer is still no with regards to exam 2. So I'll call OIT again this afternoon and see if there's maybe another setting I have to change. I put that you should be able to see it, so maybe they didn't give me the right setting to change. Anyways, back again, synthetic division. So make sure you guys know how to do synthetic division. It's going to make your life so much easier when you're trying to solve finding roots of polynomials. For this one, though, we can't do synthetic division because we can only use synthetic division when we're dividing by x minus c. Then we can do synthetic division. So for this one, we're going to have to do long division. So we have x squared plus x minus 1 on the outside. And inside, we have x to the 5th plus x to the 4th minus 8x third to the 3rd. Now, again, when we're doing polynomial division, if we are missing a term, we're missing x squared here. If we're missing a term, we have to put in a placeholder. So in this case, 0x squared. If I don't, I'm going to end up with an x squared term later on in the problem, and it doesn't match up with anything. Now it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? So you have, and especially for synthetic as well, you have to put that placeholder in. So 0x squared plus 7x plus 7. So using our exponent rules, we need to figure out what value is going to go up in here so that when I multiply it by x squared, I get x to the 5th. And that's going to be x to the 3rd power. So just like long division with numbers, do the same thing. X to the 3rd times x squared is x to the 5th. X to the 3rd times x is x to the 4th. X to the 3rd times -1 is minus x to the 3rd. And the real trick with this guy, and that's why if you can do synthetic, do synthetic. The trick is here, we're subtracting all of these from the line above. So x to the 5th minus x to the 5th, gone. That's what we want. X to the 4th minus x to the 4th, that one's also gone. And then negative 8x to the 3rd minus negative x to the 3rd, so that's like plus 1. So negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7 x to the 3rd. So is everybody okay to that point before I get too far into this problem? I don't want to get all the way done and then you guys are like, wait, back on line number 1, how did you get this answer? So if there's any questions, again, just hit that exclamation point, hit enter, so that I know you're now typing in a question and I'll hold up with moving on. All right, so you guys are getting it. Okay, good. So we have 3 terms here in our divisor. So normally I would just bring down 1 term, so 0x squared. But because I have 3 terms here, I need to bring down 2 terms in this case so that I end up with 3 terms to match up. So now, what do I have to multiply x squared by in order to get negative 7x to the third? And that's going to be minus 7x. So negative 7x times x squared, add the exponents, 2 plus 1 is 3. So minus 7x to the third. Negative 7x times x is negative 7x squared. And then negative 7x times negative 1 is plus 7x. Negative times negative, positive. So be careful with your negative signs here, because this whole thing is like all about minus signs all over the place. So just be super careful. So now negative 7x to the third plus 7x to the third, that's gone. 0x squared plus 7x squared gives me 7x squared. 7x minus 7x, so that's 0x. And then bring down my last 7. And repeat the process one more time. So what do I have to multiply x squared by? To get 7x squared, that's going to be a 7. We'll multiply it around 7x squared. 7 times x, so plus 7x. 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. Subtract this whole thing. The x squared is gone. 0 minus 7, so that's negative 7x. And then 7 minus negative 7 is 7 plus 7. So that's plus 14. So any questions to that point? All the math is done. Now the key is putting our answer in the format that it wants. And again, with the final exam, that'll be the same thing. When you have a polynomial division, putting your answer in the format that is being requested. So WebAssign wants this as Q of x plus R of x over D of x. So this is the format we need to put our answer. Q of x is this guy, the guy in the top line. So x to the third minus 7x plus 7. And then plus the remainder, which is this guy here, negative 7x plus 14 over D of x, which is this guy here, x squared plus x minus 1. So this would be the answer in this exact format that you need to put in to WebAssign. Any questions on that one? Is there any questions on synthetic division, that whole process? Because again, that out of this whole section, synthetic division is probably the most important, entirely because you're going to rely on it so heavily in 3-4, the next section that you guys are doing. So if you're not good with synthetic division or you don't understand it, section 3-4 is going to be a complete nightmare for you guys. Are you guys okay with synthetic division? 13 minutes. Any addition mistakes on that one, but I see it now. Okay, yes. Okay, so it looks like you guys are okay. So super short class, I guess. Is there any, what do you do when it's x plus c, example, x minus x plus 4? Okay, yeah, probably just need more practice. Question 2 from the homework. Okay, let me pull up question number 2. So the answer to Wilson's question is, as far as you guys are concerned, you can't do synthetic division with number 2, because you can only do for you guys, you can only do synthetic division when it's x plus c. So on number 2, it's 2x plus 1 or something like that. So you can't do it because you have the x there. In more advanced mathematics, Actually, this one you could do with synthetic division. But again, it's not worth going into all that for you guys because you're not going to use it anywhere. The basic thing is as long as you can do synthetic division. So let's go through one of those. More than anything, just to make sure everybody understands the process and what we're doing. Who was it? Taylor asked about x plus 4. So we'll do one of those. So let's say we want to divide p of x. We wanted 1. I guess I should have made the last one the attendance problem. So this is probably better anyways, because it's sort of new material here. So let's say our p of x. So again, this will be the problem putting in your ticket out the door notebook with your ticket out the door problems. So p of x is x to the 4th minus 3x squared plus 2x plus 8, and d of x. So as Taylor asked, we'll use x plus 4. So first of all, can we do synthetic division? Yes, we can, because this is of the form x minus c. X is by itself and just some constant. When we do synthetic division, we're going to have the coefficients in our sort of upside down division symbol here. And on the outside here is going to be our value of c. And so the process is going to be bring down this first number. Then we multiply these two numbers. That goes up into the middle line. Do you have to use placeholder? Absolutely. So with any polynomial division, if we are missing a term, we have to have and especially with synthetic division. With the last one, if we were missing the term, we would have noticed sort of further down, like, wait a minute, there's nothing to match up with the x squared. So I guess it's just that piece there by itself. But with this one, with synthetic division, if you leave out one of the terms, your answer is going to be completely wrong. So you definitely need to have your placeholders. So again, the process is going to be our coefficients go up here, c goes on the outside. First step, bring this number down. Then it's just going to be a repeating process. Multiply c by this number. This goes up here. And then we add everything down to get a number at this point. Let me put a box so you don't think it's a 0. So we get some number, whatever, 1. Then we multiply this by c. Move that up to here. Add down. Gives us another number, 2. We just keep repeating this process. Add down another number, 3. And this continues on for as many coefficient values as we have. That's the process. So let's look at this example. So first thing is our coefficients. So we have 1. Now we're missing our x to the 3rd term. So as Alex pointed out here, it's like, wait a minute, do we have to have a placeholder? Yes. It's 0, x to the 3rd, -3, +2, +8. And we're dividing by x plus 4. So because we're putting in our value of c, just c by itself, the easiest way to remember synthetic division is whatever number you see here, use the opposite with synthetic division. So I see +4, so I'm going to put in a -4 here, because what this guy really is x minus a -4. That's x plus 4. So x minus c tells me that c is a -4. But again, instead of trying to worry about all that negative math, Whatever value you see here, if this was x minus 2, well, I would use a plus 2 over here. Because it's x plus 4, I use a minus 4 over here. Does that make sense to everybody? Any questions on that before I move on? That's the tricky part of this, is what value goes on the outside here. Now, I will tell you on the exams, it is simply going to say divide these. So if you don't feel comfortable with synthetic division, if you prefer to do it the long way, that's entirely fine. It's not going to say you have to do this by synthetic division or you have to do this by long division. It's just going to say divide. So if you can do it by synthetic, then by all means, if you're good with that, go ahead and use that one. All right, so let's process this one. So first thing we do, we bring this number down 1. We multiply these two. -4 times 1 is -4. Add these down. So 0 minus 4 is -4. 4, these numbers are going to get big on us here, but -4 times -4 is positive 16. 16 minus 3 is positive 13. Yeah, these numbers are going to get really big on us. Oh, that's okay. So now we have what? -4 times 13 is -52. Oh, this won't work too bad. This will work out nice, I guess. Again, add down. 2 minus 52 is -50. And then -4 times -50 is positive 200. Add these down. 8 plus 200 is 208. The last number in the row is always our remainder, r of x. And this part here, these are the coefficients of our q of x. And whatever we started with, x to the 4th, our answer is going to be 1 less than that. So because I started with x to the 4th, this is going to be my x to the 3rd, x squared, x to the 1st, and then the constant. So q of x is x to the 3rd minus 4x squared plus 13x minus 50. So q of x is that. R of x, the remainder, is 208. Does that make sense to everybody? Any questions on that? Let me get a picture of that so for my 2:30 class, I can give them the same attendance problem. All right, so any questions on that one? All right, well, I guess you guys get out of here way early. Let me give you your ticket out the door. Actually, maybe not so early, because one of the ticket out the door problems might take you a little bit. Everybody has this good here, okay? All right, so for your ticket out the door, number 1, so divide p of x is equal to x to the 3rd minus x plus 3 by d of x, which is x plus 2. So tell me, what is q of x and what is r of x? Oh, so for synthetic division, if it's x squared, we can't do, that's correct, Mary. Yeah, so it's only if it's x plus or minus some number. So in this case, x plus 2, this one you could do synthetic if you want. If it's any other number, if it's any other degree other than x to the first power and the coefficient has to be 1, you can't do it. If this was a fraction, you could still do it. So if this said x minus a half, you could still do synthetic division. It's just you're going to have a fraction out in front instead of an integer. But it'll be a fraction. That's okay. But it always has to be 1x to the first power. If it's not, you guys can't do synthetic division. All right, so that's the first one. Number 2, kind of a flashback here to make sure you guys are still good at doing these. So solve x plus y minus z equals -2, 3x plus 2y plus z equals -3, and x minus y plus 3z equals 0. So go ahead and try those. And again, we got so much time here. So try these if you're getting stuck. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Again, we have all the time in the world here today. So I want to make sure you guys know how to do these. Again, both of these are exam type of questions, so you should be able to do both of these problems. And once you get done with both of these, if you want to just, again, type done. If you do finish, you don't have any questions. Once we get a couple people that have the answers, I can put the answers up for you guys. So, and if you have it, you can end your math class for today anyhow. So. So since I have been sharing Netflix stuff with you guys, has anybody seen the documentary Dawn Wall? I think it's called The Dawn Wall. So it's just a 1-episode documentary. So if you guys are getting bored of sitting around in quarantine, if you don't have a bunch of school work to do, you can watch that. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good documentary. So keep sharing any good ones that I see with you guys. Yeah, Dawn Wall. It's pretty good. It's about a rock climber that attempts to climb this wall in Yosemite. So pretty good. Yeah, Tiger King's interesting. I heard there was supposed to be another episode coming out this week, so I don't know if that was just somebody spreading lies on social media or something, but I haven't seen any notifications come up about it. But yeah, that's an interesting one. So I guess we know what everybody's dressing up as for Halloween. So yeah, if you haven't seen Tiger King and you just want a glimpse into the kind of people we have other than just Las Vegas people, it's a strange group with those people. So is that Hawaiian, Jenna? What does that mean? All paw? Done, okay. It's pigeon. That mean done. All paw means done in Hawaiian and pigeon. Yeah, see, I learned something. See, you guys are teaching me something today. All paw means done. Got it. Okay, so since you guys are starting to finish this up, let me give you guys the answers. And again, if you are still working it, that's fine. I'm not putting these answers up to get rid of you. Keep working it. That way, if you're stuck or if you don't get the right answer, if you have a question like, okay, why am I not getting this right? I can try to help you through it. So for the first one, q of x, you should have x squared minus 2x plus 3, and r of x is negative 3. And then for the bottom one, x should be negative 2, y should be equal to 1, and Z is also equal to 1. So, any questions with those? If you got those correct, that's great. You should be fine on the exam. And so I'll say bye to you guys and enjoy your next 5 days. We'll see you on Monday. I will put the link up or the discussion thread for next week's homework. So if you have questions on those, you can start posting those. Otherwise, if you got these answers, you don't have questions, we'll see you later. Be safe. I got -1 for Z. Should be +1. If you have -1, you won't get these answers. Remember, okay, you too, Alex. Remember, whatever answers you get, if you plug them into at least 2 of these, they should work out. So be careful on that. All right, you too, Wilson. I'll try to update you guys on the exam too. If I can get that to work, I'll make sure you guys can see it. Okay, yeah, no problem, Marco. Oh boy, now you're going to teach me more. All right, Jenna, we'll see you. Have a good weekend. Thanks, Shannon. You too. Have a good weekend. See you, Jenna. See you, Cassidy. All right, see you, Marco. Which one do you want to see today? Let's see which one wants to come. Maybe only Cash. I think you guys have already. Well, which one have you already seen? You've seen Cash and Ginger? Yeah, they're definitely still sleeping. Let's see who wants to come visit. Have you guys seen Bambi yet? Cash is probably awake if you want to see Cash. Cash, are you awake? Come on, bud. Cash? Come on, bud. They want to see you again. Come on. You've seen Ginger and Cash, so not Bambi. Come here, bud. Okay, that's it. So here's Cash. Say hi to everybody. Okay, that's it. All right, go on. I'll get you a treat in a minute. Ginger, yes. And, okay, so probably Bambi. I think Bambi's sleeping, so remind me on Monday. I'll show you guys Bambi on Monday. You ready, bud? Want to go back out? All right, go back to sleep. I'll get you a treat. Okay, so looks like you guys are all dropping off here. So I will say goodbye. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. And we'll see you guys on Monday.